So although Toyota's Prius gets all the hybrid hype, technically the Insight was the first mass-produced hybrid here in America. Now, sales of the Prius have taken a noticeable dive in recent years, which makes the reintroduction of the third generation Insight that much more important. I'm at the 2018 New York International Auto Show. Let's take a first look. So personally, I think the reason why Prius sales have fallen over the recent years is just the design. People just can't get over the polarizing looks of the thing, myself included, which makes the all-new Insight that much more appealing. This is one very attractive looking sedan, and that was the goal for Honda for this all-new Insight. They wanted to build a hybrid that just looks conventional, that looks premium, and they certainly succeed. You can see the front end is dominated by Honda's current grille, their kind of split-winged chrome grille with standard LED headlights, even on the base LX trim, which is certainly nice. Now this particular one is the top-of-the-line Touring, and it definitely has a very Accord meets Civic kind of look. It takes all the best attributes of the Accord and kind of puts it into the Insight in a smaller package. Now this all-new Insight is the third generation. We haven't seen an Insight in the US since 2014. That's when Honda cut production of the slow-selling second generation. And you can see this new one on this Touring trim in general has the 17-inch wheels, which are included on this trim. The lower trims will have a 16-inch wheel. And the Insight is now a conventional sedan. Compared to the old model, its wheelbase has been stretched by 6 inches, which is a huge jump. This now rides on the current Honda Civic platform, which is what you can basically see in the actual proportions of the vehicle. Now, looking at the rear end of the new Insight, it has a very conventional, very attractive look. Standard LED taillights are also included, even on the base trim. And I really dig the styling, honestly. I drove the Clarity yesterday, the Clarity plug-in, and I wasn't too pleased with the actual design. This just kind of looks attractive on all the angles, and it has that kind of coupe-like look. The taillights itself also, they kind of have that blacked out finish that they showed on the prototype model. It doesn't look really any different than that. Now the trunk capacity of the Insight also is pretty good. Because Honda has repositioned the batteries for this new model, they've re-put it under the floor. You have 15.1 cubic feet of space, which honestly matches that of a lot of mid-size sedans. And the seats, they fold down 60/40 on the EX and up trim, so practicality is saved even though you guys bought a hybrid. So underneath the hood of the all-new Insight, you're going to find the third generation of Honda's two-motor electric motor system. Now, it's basically the same two-motor hybrid that we know in the Accord. It's paired with a 1.5-liter naturally aspirated double overhead cam VTEC engine as the gas engine, compared to the Accord, which uses a 2-liter. You can essentially think of the Insight as the Civic Hybrid, but Honda doesn't build the Civic Hybrid anymore because they moved the Civic in a sportier direction. Now, the total system output for this powertrain is about 151 horsepower and 197 pound-feet of torque. Now, if you're keeping score, that's a lot more than what you get in a Prius, about 30 more horsepower than the Prius, its main competitor. So, and Honda's very proud of that. Now, fuel economy, that's something that you're probably wondering what it's going to get. This gets 55 mpg in the city, which is right up there with the current Toyota Prius, and about a 15 mpg improvement over the second generation Insight. So those are big gains. Honda's done a really good job with the efficiency. Now, it all goes out through the front wheels, through a CVT transmission, a revised CVT. Honda didn't have any weight figures yet, but I do look forward to getting this out on the road and driving this new Insight when it does go on sale. So for the interior of the all-new Insight, as I said earlier, Honda has adopted a premium, 5-passenger environment for the exterior and on the interior, and you're really going to notice that stepping inside this new Insight. It takes a lot of the elements that we've seen in the Civic and the Accord, the newer infotainment system in the Accord, but the dash reminds me a lot of the Civic. Now, first of all, these seats, these are the touring seats, which is the only way you can get leather on an Insight. The EX will come with cloth, but with heat, I believe. And the seats are pretty comfortable. I find the visibility in here is good. You have good sight lines, a big side mirror. The seat is also power adjustable, 8-way on the driver and 4-way on the passenger, but there's no lumbar adjustment, which kind of perplexes me. I'm okay, but some of you may prefer an adjustable lumbar, which Honda doesn't include, but they do on the Civic. But looking at the rest of the dash, I really love the actual stitching here with this leatherette material on the dash. It actually goes a step above Civic. It's soft touch here on this part of the dash, soft touch here. There's some more stitching on the actual door panels. The windows are one-touch automatic for the front windows. Now, a couple of things I'm also noticing, it's got the steering wheel from the Accord, it's got the infotainment system, that digital display from the Accord, and it has the actual volume knob here and buttons here like the new CR-V, as opposed to the Civic, which doesn't have that function. Dual zone climate control is included. Heated seats are included on this trim, and a regular sunroof. If you want the regular sunroof, you have to go for a touring trim. And overall, the Insight feels pretty roomy and comfortable. It definitely feels a lot more spacious and more upscale than the old second generation model, which is kind of a problem with a lot of buyers. But let's take a look at the rear seat, because Honda says they've expanded it greatly for this new generation. So the previous generation model was weak in the rear seat compartment, and this is where the new Insight has really addressed that. Because of that 6-inch wheelbase stretch, Honda basically has given it all to the rear seat, which I believe they added about 4 inches more legroom back here. It certainly feels that way. Now, in terms of the headroom, it's actually not bad. I was expecting it to be worse because of the sloping roof, but I'm 5'7". I can get pretty comfortable. There's good foot space underneath here. There's a slight hump here. There's no vents, but I could cross my legs back here and be pretty comfortable. Now, in terms of the materials, they're hard touch plastic, which I kind of expected. They didn't carry that over. You only get one map pocket here, but there's a good little folding armrest here. The seats fold down, but overall, I mean, you could comfortably seat, 2 full-size adults in the back here, although 3 would probably be in a pinch, but I think this will do extremely well for those hybrid buyers who aren't really sold on the Prius's looks when it does go on sale. Now, speaking of which, the new Insight will go on sale later this year with no pricing yet announced. I believe the old one was one of the least expensive hybrids on the market, like around 20,000 bucks. I expect this one to be more, but with the new Accord pricing at around 25, it's going to be interesting to see where Honda actually prices this all-new Insight when it does go on sale. For Redline Reviews at the 2018 New York International Auto Show, I'm Sophian Bay.